Hello everyone, welcome to Taltech. Today we are going to be talking about the Pascal's triangle. The Pascal's triangle is often, a little bit difficult, or a little, let me not say difficult because it's not actually difficult, but it just requires a particular technique, like, a particular formula that you need to use for it to work perfectly and for you to get the right values. Also, it works with 3 for loops, like 2 for loops embedded inside 1 for loop. So you need to understand the way this works to be able to do the Pascal's triangle your own, or to understand how the Pascal's triangle works. So today I'm going to be clarifying you on how to use to do the Pascal's triangle, how to write a C code that's going to work with the Pascal's triangle efficiently without mistakes, and it's going to be a little bit easy for you. So let's go. For you to print a Pascal's triangle, you need something. If you know how Pascal's triangle is, e.g. like this, you need space, you need a code. That's the overall code, is the one that's going to carry the rows, because you need to be moving to the next line. After each you print 1, you move to the next line, you print 1 1, move to the next line, print 1 2 1, go to the next line, and you understand the stuff. So you need, first of all, you need the word next line. So you need next line. So we are going to use in the variable, let's say I for next line, and we are going to be using the for loop, like the for loop that's going to be the one to print the numbers itself. We are going to be using j there. We are going to be using j there, and then this one is only for space. Like making sure that it gives a space before 1 is printed, gives a particular space before this is printed, just like that. So declare variables. So firstly, we are going to declare the overall for loop, like the for loop that's going to be working, like to move to the next line. So let's say for we are using I. We say we are using the variable I. There's a video already on the channel talking about how the for loop functions. So if you are really interested, you can go watch it. So you declare it as I. For I, say for I equal to, we have 0, because we need to move to the next line after each step. So for I is equals to 0, we have I should be less than what? The number of rows. I should be less than the number of rows. I should be less than or equal to the number of rows. Let's take, for example, the number of rows. We have 5 rows. Yes, let's say for example we have 5 rows. I should be less than or equal to the number of rows. So here we are going to have what? I plus plus. So with this I plus plus, we are going to do, what are we going to do? We are going to print f. I print f. We are going to print f. We are going to print what? Move to the next line. We are going to print move to the next line. This is just telling the code that immediately I is equal to 0, and the condition is true, because this second part is a condition, and the condition is true, is going to take the person straight to the next line. If this is true, if I is equal to 0 and this condition is true, like I, let's take for example I is 0, right? Is I less than or equal to 5? Obviously yes. So just move to the next line. You understand? And then the second one is going to be incrementing. That's why we use I plus plus. So I is going to be 1. Is I less than or equals to, is 1 less than or equals to 5? That's true. 1 is less than or equals to 5. So it's going to do what? Move to the next line. So this one is only for you to help move to the next line. So let's write now a code that's going to be printing the space. We have to do all this inside the for loop that's going to be moving to the next line, because we don't want that when we are printing our numbers should be maybe more than the our numbers should be maybe more than this thing. Our numbers should be maybe more than the rows we decide to work on. The numbers cannot be more than the rows. Then how do you expect them to work? So it's going to be a little bit complicated there. So after this, you did again the second for loop that's going to be working for space. That's going to be working for space. You see we already declared space. For space, the space is supposed to be reducing, like the gap. Since it's a Pascal triangle, the gap is supposed to be reducing. So we say for space equal to, let's just say I, because no, let's not say I, let's say the number of rows, so that it should at least fit inside the number of rows. So it should be equals to 5 should be equals to 5, since we say we are working on with 5 rows, like we are working with 5 rows. So for space should be equals to 5 rows. Yes, for space equals to 5 rows. Space should be what? Space should be greater than or equals to I. Why are we using I? It should be greater than or equal to I in such a way that it should not go above I. It should not be less than I. We cannot, if we use a fixed value here, that means we cannot ask the user to enter a number of rows they want to print. That means you cannot, like, the user cannot just enter a number of rows they want to print. Thank you for the follow, Kamini. The user cannot enter a number of rows they want to print. So we need to use I for that. So we go now to, we need to increment space, say space plus plus. We increment space plus plus. So what are we printing? This space, we are going to print what? Print f space. So you just have to put this, give the gap. This is it. This is the for loop for the gap. So immediately it's going to come here. It's going to check for space. Is space equal to, space is equal to 5? Is space less than or equal to 1? To say yes, the condition is true. Sorry, this is supposed to be space minus this. Space is reducing, not increasing. Yeah, space minus. Okay, it's going to check, is the space less than or equal to I? Yes, our first I is 0, right? Yeah, space is obviously less than or greater than or equal to, space is obviously greater than or equal to I. So it's going to do what? Move here and print one space. It's going to come back again. I told you that the for loop executes completely until the condition is false before it jumps to the next thing. Like, it should execute completely until the condition is false before it jumps out. That's how the for loops works. So it's going to come back here. It's going to check. It's going to come back here. It's going to decrement space. Space is going to be decremented. So as space is decremented, it's going to come here. Space will be 4. Space will be 4. The condition is still true because 4 is greater than or equal to 1. So it's going to print another gap, actually in the same line. So it's just going to print like that. See, the condition is going to be false since since space is going to be equal to 0, since I is 0. That's why we use I, since I is 0. So it's not going to print the gap since till I is equals to space is equals to 0. Now we are going to write the for loop that's going to do the real arithmetic. That's going to do this one is the one that's going to do the arithmetic operation itself. It's going to do the operations. It's going to be the one to tell that print 1 here, print 1 here, print 2 here, print 3 here. Okay, so let's go. For you to print out this one, we need to declare a start for j is equals to 0. You have j should be less than or equal to I. Why are we using I? J should be less than or equal to I in such a way that in the first line, because all this is going to work in one line, because this is still the first line, it's after that is going to that the compiler is going to come out from here and move to the next line, that's going to be incremented, because we see everything inside the loop must be executed before an increment outside is done. So it's going to come in. If j is equals to 0 and j is less than or equals to I, what is I? I is 0. You understand? I is 0. It should increment, like it should move up. So we are going to say j plus plus. Now we go to the real mathematics. Now here we need what? We need a condition, because we want it to come out correctly as a Pascal's triangle is. You want to have a Pascal's triangle correctly, like you really need to have the Pascal's triangle correctly. So we are going to use an if statement, if and else. If you're no problem, like the if and else statement. So we are going to say if I is equals to 0. If I is equals to 0, or j is equals to 0, or j equals to 0, if I is equals to 0 or j is equals to 0, then what? Then the Pascal's triangle, what it should print, let's just name it to be C. Let's just put it here to be C. Let's declare it first here to be C, and then that means C should be equal to 1, in such a way that when it's going to come here, it's going to see I is equals to 0. Here it's just going to come here, print the 5, like the 5 distance, the 5 gaps, going to print the 5 gaps, and then it's going to print 1. You understand? That's how the that's how the Pascal's triangle is. So here it's going to print 1. It's going to print 1. Or else, if it's not the case, the else statement is just saying if it's not the case. If it's not the case, C now should be equal to we have C times we go I, our I minus j. Let me just put it before I explain it. I minus j plus 1 I minus j plus 1, all that divided by all that divided by j. Okay, so this is what we have here. If I is not equal to 0 or j is not equal to 0, it should print C. Or j is not equal to 0, it should come here. It should take C times I minus j plus 1, all that divided by j. After taking it, we should print what? It's going to print f. We have print f. We are printing C. We are printing %d. We have %d, since we use integers to declare it. We have %d. We have %d and C. We are printing C. Okay. We want to make sure that if I is equals to 0 or j is equals to 0, it should just print 1. It should just, because the else statement only works. The else statement only works, if you like, you can put this in bracket or something like this. Right, braces, sorry. This else statement only works out when this if condition is not true. If this if condition is true, it's just going to execute what is inside, what's inside the if. But if the condition is false, it's going to check the else statement. Is there another thing they ask me to do if the condition is false? That's what if and else statement. That's what the if and else statement does. So here we are good to go. We have write our code. C equals to, yes, this one is for the operation. So now for this operation, let me explain it. It's a little bit complicated, but let me explain it. So here in the first for loop, we said that our gap should be equals to 0, right? We said that our gap is equals to 0. Let's take the first one. Our next line should be equals to 0. Sorry, our next line should be equals to 0. So when j is equals, when this condition is going to be true, right? I will be equals to 1 and j I will be 0 and j will be 0. The condition is true. It's going to do what? It's going to print 1. After printing 1, it's going to come back here. After printing 1, it's going to come back here and check it have incremented j. J is equals to 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 1? No, 1 is integrator. So it's going to come back to the next. So it's going to go back, jump now to the next line. It's going to go back to the next line. Obviously, it's going to go back to the next line. So after going back to the next line, it's going to print this. It's going to do the gaps printing again. It's going to do the gaps printing again. It's going to print the gaps again. After that, it's going to come here. J is equals to 0. J is less than or equal to 1. What is I? J is less than or equal to I. What is I? I is probably, maybe, yes, I is 1 now. J is less than or equals to 1. But I is less than or equals to 1, but J is 0. Do you understand? This is it here. Go up small. Voila. I is 0. I have incremented to 1 because after this for loop, after these braces are executed, after this for loop is executed, it's going to increment it. So I have gone to 1, but j here is going to be j is going to be remain 0 because j only executes only inside here. Like j only executes only what is inside its own for loop. The for loop for j is going to execute only when it's inside its own for loop, and when it's done with that, it's just going to forget about, it's just going to go out, it's just going to go out of the loop. That means coming the second time for the second, like for I, is going to, j is going to be afresh. J is going to start afresh. You understand? J is going to start afresh. J is going to start afresh. So it's going, j is equals to 0, but I is equals to 1. Is j less than or equals to I? Yes, j is 0 and I is 1, so it's less than or equals to I. So it's going to print what? It's going to print 1 because j is 0, because we said I should be equals to 0 or j should be equals to 0. So it's going to print 1 in the second line. You understand? It's going to print 1 in the second line. So after printing 1 in the second line, it's going to come back here, increment it, increment j. J have been incremented to 1. J is 1, I is 1. So is j less than or equals to 1, 1 less than or equals to 1? The condition is obviously true. So it's going to come here. I is 1 now and j is 1. So I is 1, j is 1. So this one will not going to hold. So it's going to come here. You know that our c is 1, right? Our c is 1 because we say here c should be equals to 1. So it's going to come back here. It's going to say c, that's 1 times I is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, right? 1 minus 1, that's 0, plus 1, you can understand, that is 1. And then it's going to divide it by 1. Our j is 1, right? Our j have moved to 1, so it's going to be 1 here. So we have 1 minus 1 plus 1. 1 minus 1, 0, plus 1, we have 1. If we times it times 1, because c is actually 1, is times it times 1, it's going to remain the same thing, 1. And we divide it by 1, it's going to be 1. That's why it's going to print again another 1 inside the second for loop. It's going to print again another 1. So if j again is incremented to 2, if j is incremented to 2, that means it's not going to work. It's not going to work because the condition is going to be false. 2 cannot be less than or equals to 1. That's false. So it's going to skip it and then go out of the loop. It's going to come back here again and it's going to do what? It's going to increment this one to 2. It's going to increment this one to 2. And when it's come down to j, j is still 0. Come back to j is 0, and then you have j less than or equals to. So if since j is always 0, we know that this condition is true. It's going to print again another 1. You get? It's going to print again another 1. It's going to print again another 1. It's going to print 1. It's going to, after printing this one, this is not going to check about this one again. It's going to come back and increment this one to. It's going to increment this one to 1. This is 1 and this is 2. 1 and this is 2. The condition is what? It's true because j is 1, which is less than or equals to 2. 1 is less than 2, right? Yes, so it's true. So it's true. It's going to come back here. It's going to come back here and do the calculation. You can, for you to understand this thing, you have to take this, sit down and do the calculation yourself. Sit down and do the calculation yourself. Take a book. You understand? Take a book, a pen and a paper. Do the calculation yourself. All you need to understand is what this for loop executes all the thing that is inside its bracket, like this bracket, like this braces. Sorry, these braces we use here. These braces. It's going to execute everything inside here, and after executing everything here, it increments. After executing it here, it increments j. J is equals to plus, is going to be plus 1. After executing it, j is going to be plus 1. Let's build our own code and run it and see. Let's build it and let's run it. Voila, you see, this is it. We have 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 because j, all this 1 1 is showing that about j is 1 here, j is 1 here. And when they do the calculation behind here, you discover that what is going to also give 1. That's how it works. So it's not giving the vibe. So let's try and do a little bit correction here. Let's say, let's give a gap here, so that after printing z is going to give a gap. Build and run. Voila, you see, So it have expanded. After it gives a gap. After this printing, it gives a gap. You see, it's exactly the Pascal's triangle. It's exactly the Pascal triangle. 1 plus this we have 5, 4 plus 6 we have 10. So this is how the Pascal's triangle is printed in C. This is how the Pascal's triangle is printed in C. So also you can just put percent. You can put percent 4G, so I should give 4 gaps so that it can be opened very well. You can open it very well. We have period and run here. See, it have opened like really a lot. So it's your decision. You can decide to open it the way you want it. So just know that this is the way before it. Okay, well, I prefer this one. Okay, you see, so it have printed what? Our rows are how many? We have how many rows? We have 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we have 6 rows. So it is okay because we use it's from 0. That's why we have 6 is from because we started from 0 to 5. We said less than or equal to 5. Since we started from 0, there has to be 6 rows. I hope you understand me. Since we started from 0, there has to be 6 rows. That's why we have 6 rows here. We started from 0. That's why we have 6 rows here. So now you can still need the user to be the one to enter the rows. You understand? You can still need the user to be the one to enter the rows. Like you can come here and you say, printf, and you ask the user, please enter the number of rows you want to print. Of rows you want to print. Please enter the number of rows you want to print. Okay. Here we have correct. Please enter the number of rows we want to print. You can say slide in, move to the next line after that. So now after that you need to do what? You need to scan it. Scan F. Scan F. Scan F. We are collecting an integer, so we use %d. Comma, and okay, this is n. There's an error here, so I don't understand it. What happened? Okay, n is undeclared. Sorry, so we declare n. Let's declare n. I think the error is fixed. Declare n. Correct. Okay, now you are going to come here and change this because this is the number of rows. You are going to come here now and change it to n. Okay, we have just changed this one to n, and then here we have just changed it to n. I think it was not used anywhere again, so space will be equal to, let's also change this one to the number of rows. Space should be n. That's the number of rows. The number of rows we are able to be printing. So space should be equal to n. Yeah, I think this is okay. So this is it. Say please enter the number of rows you want to print. Let's just decide and bump it with 10. Yeah, and test it. Let's just bump it with 10 and test it. Let's say 10. Okay. Well, this is your Pascal triangle using 10 rows. This is 10 rows here. I'm sure it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, they're actually 11 because we started from 0. It's okay. Okay, see, this is a 10 with 10 rows. The user is now the one to enter the number of rows they want to print. And if you check it, you discover that it's very correct and very easy. So this is how you print, the Pascal's triangle using the C language. If you love this video, please like, share, drop your comment for reviews, and also feel free to go to my page and leave a subscribe. Thank you so much.